Now it's time for Desktop Discussions.
Hey folks, Sir Charles Carey here with another episode of Desktop Discussions. And as some of you know or may know, I've done and I do quite a few different things. I am a peak performance strategist. I am a music producer, and I have spread my time and invested a lot of my time in many things as it relates to working with and entertaining and engaging people. What can I tell you? I mean, if you know me, you already know that this is true, but if you haven't, let me just name a few things so you get a better idea of what I'm speaking about. I have been on reality shows. I have been in motion pictures, literally. I've been in plays. I've recorded music. I've produced music. I am an author, and most recently, or in most years, most of my time has been spent on a platform as a peak performance strategist. Now, you may say that's a lot of things, and what's the big deal, or why are you sharing that? Well, one, I want you to understand what I do and what gives me the credibility to speak to the topic today, which is you are not your job. And the same thing would be if the topic was you are not your business. And many of us don't seem to understand that we take the personality of a corrections officer or police officer as who we, the individual, is. And nothing can be further from the truth. Whether there are a number of tips or points that I specifically want to give you, I'm going to suggest that you take notes for yourself, whatever way you like to notate things. If I say something that's unique to you or that you've never heard from this perspective, write it down. And why is because it is for you. Now, I don't know specifically what individual this message is for, but I know that there are a lot of us running around social media trying to be the latest, the greatest, the most popular, and we're trying to generate revenue from that. There's nothing wrong with generating revenue, but don't be a slave to your job. Don't be a slave to your business, and don't be a slave, most importantly, to social media. So back on topic, you are not your job. Your job in many cases, it's a means to an end. And what is that end? To pay the bills, to have a livelihood, to have a roof over your head, to have transportation, to be able to feed your family, to clothe yourself. And that is what a means to an end more than likely means to the majority of people worldwide. Now, if you have the luxury or the pleasure or the ability to have a side hustle, a side gig, or you're just a person that has a thirst and a hunger for more and you're out there doing something in addition to your job, kudos to you. And I think what you're doing should be applauded. I can tell you from my personal experience, it works best if you don't get caught up in the minutia, meaning you don't allow ads and things of that nature to make you feel that you have to do a certain thing in order to matter. Now, there is a truth, and the truth is if people don't see you, they will forget you. I'll take myself, for example, again. I used to be on social media a lot. I'm talking every single day. And there's a lot of people that came up with me in business that are still on social media every single day. But there is something called a quality of life that passes all peace and understanding. And if you're following me, you know where I'm getting that from. So I would highly recommend check yourself so you don't wreck yourself mentally and your timetable. Your time is important, it's valuable. And how you spend your time is also valuable. And if you do have a tribe, a following, it is important that you keep it. It is important that you maybe have a system in place. And it also is important that they know that you are a part of society and that you're a part of your industry's quote unquote, whatever you want to call it. You're a part of one of the influencers that make things happen. Well, sometimes we have hiccups in life and sometimes that's interrupted. However, you are still not your job and you are still not your business. If you don't have a quality of life or sanity or a calm heart, then what do you have to offer other people? So I encourage you to really look at what you do, look at how you do it, and look at what it means to you. How does it impact your everyday life? There's nothing wrong with being in love with your God given gift, skill, talent, and ability. But you have to know that you know that you know what that is and pursue it. And if you can pursue more than one thing, do that as well. Um, I do believe that balance is required no matter what you're doing, regardless of the profession, regardless of the industry, and you have to create that balance. Everyone doesn't have a 50-50 sense of balance. Some of us, it's 20-70. That's the scale that we operate on. Some of us operate on a 90-10 scale. Stay relevant, stay visible, stay active, but make sure that you stay healthy. Your physical and your mental health is really important to you. You cannot go far or do much of anything without it. So keep that apparent. And the responsibilities of your life, paying those bills and making those markers, that is critically important. Do it. Stay with it. Don't let anything prevent you from maintaining a reasonable and sound and healthy life. Finally, I wanted to say you have to be able to go beyond and, within the trials of life, meaning that when problems come, you're going to have to know how to maintain your job or your business and deal with the problem. That's a balance thing, but it's also sometimes a tug of war because it's a common sense thing, sometimes mixed with getting more information about the challenges that are before you, and you must weather that storm. It becomes part of your story and maybe part of that business model, how you're telling your story. It may be part of how you rise up the ranks in your career, in your job, but you do have to maintain a certain understanding on what the challenges of life are, what your everyday lifestyle is, and to make sense of everything. Because without this and without the health part, we don't have very much to offer, as well as talking about having a tribe and getting to the next level. I like to change that scenario. You want to get to the new level, and the new level is designed specifically for you. I've got a lot of things that I could share with you and a lot of things I think that could help add value to you, but you have to want to do more for you. You have to want more and you have to be willing to grow. The only way to be willing to grow is to put your best foot forward. And as I always say, you got to radiate the brain and change the game, which means change your thinking, modify your thinking so that you can get the results that you really want. And if you can get the results that you really want, then you can really get something and do something and be known for being a person who adds value in many ways. Depends on what you're doing. So, this is a desktop discussion that's meant to inspire, encourage, and empower you to be the best version of you. I really believe that it's important we, search on the inside. Be honest with yourself. Who are you? Where are you trying to go? Who's going to help you get there? I'm talking about coaches. I'm talking about mentors. I'm talking about programs that help you develop your talent and your skill. There's a lot of them out there, and there's a lot that I can recommend. But one of the first people you've got to satisfy is you. If you can't satisfy you and come to terms with who you are, it's going to be difficult to add value to the lives of other people. So yes, I still am in the game. I'm still working on different things, and I look forward to sharing many of those things with you in the not too distant future. But in the meantime, remember, you've got to be willing to radiate the brain and change the game, as I always say. And check out our site, Wordsmith Speakers Alliance, for many resources for yourself, all discounted. Please like, share, and subscribe to those who have a penchant for learning and becoming better. With that being said, until the next time, You know what it is. All right. Take care now.